Ex-MSNBC host shreds MSNBC over feverish Russian conspiracy theories. And I just want to point out before we get started, her name is Crystal Ball. I'm sorry. Her name is Crystal Ball. That's got to mean something, right? And I'm not going to go the low route. I'm going to go the high route. She is speaking prophecy. Okay? It's still kind of the low road. I get it. Anyway, the point is, we'll read the story, but Americans don't care about Russians. Okay, a little bit. But for the most part, it's not considered a pressing issue. It's kind of like a side thought. What we're really seeing here is the inability of the media to survive in the Trump era. They're desperate for attention. Trump knows it. He plays them like a fiddle. And Russia is the last thing Americans care about. Okay, it's not the last thing, but it's almost the last thing they care about. I've got poll data. So let's criticize the media. Let's see what Crystal Ball has to say. And before we get started, make sure you head over to timcast.com/donate if you would like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address. But of course, just share this video if you like it because YouTube has deranked independent commentary. What this means, non-subscriber views are basically gone. Everybody, even David Pakman's been complaining about this. And I mean, look, David and I do political commentary, kind of disagree on a lot of issues, kind of not really, but framing is different, very much so on our channels. He's more of a progressive, I'm more of a moderate. The point is, both, across the spectrum, YouTube is trying to stop our channels from growing. That's what it means when they're not suggesting us anymore. The views we get from people who aren't subscribed is way down. So you can do two things. You can subscribe or share the video if you really want to help. And the only reason I go into the extended plug here is because we're criticizing the media in this video. Let's see what she has to say. Crystal Ball. The Daily Wire reports ex-MSNBC host Crystal Ball slammed her former network on Thursday for promoting feverish Russian conspiracy theories, comparing the far-left network to InfoWars and saying they are not journalism, comparing them to InfoWars. Listen, a lot of people like InfoWars. A lot of people like MSNBC. I'm not here to pass, well, actually, I'll pass a little judgment. InfoWars, Alex Jones has said some crazy stuff, plain and simple. But here's the difficult thing. I, as kind of like a moderate, not big into InfoWars, can criticize Alex Jones for talking about cell phone towers, controlling people's minds, and interdimensional aliens. But here's the thing. Those conversations are fun to have when you're I don't smoke, but you're sitting around with your friends, you're bored, and you're just man, what if aliens? It's a fun conversation. It can do no harm. Now, Alex Jones has done things worth criticizing, but MSNBC is a full order of magnitude worse or more. Okay, for years they're pushing Russiagate insanity conspiracy. That stuff is based in reality and can literally drive people insane. I'll tell you what am I concerned with? A handful of people who watch Alex Jones who think interdimensional aliens are controlling our minds? Not really, because they're going off to Area 51 to put on freaky little hats. But you know what is scary? When Rachel Maddow whips everyone into a frenzy claiming that Trump works for Russia. Then they go nuts, and that actually affects policy. That is crazy. More importantly, I just want to point out, we'll continue on with our criticisms, but the most important problem to American voters, well, non-economic problems are the majority, around 85%. But guess what? Situation with Russia it's a little asterisk, a little star symbol. You know what the star symbol means? Less than 0.5% of people said it was the most pressing issue. So no. Can we drop it? You're catering to the fringe wackos, MSNBC. Make it stop. They won't. But you know what? Crystal Ball is right. Ball, who made the remarks while co-hosting The Hill's Rising, launched the attacks against her former network after special counsel Robert Mueller's disastrous testimony on Wednesday in front of Congress. I can no longer avoid pondering a question which honestly gives me no joy to ponder. Just how much damage has MSNBC in particular done to the left? Crystal, you are incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, this critique is not meant to be personal to the anchors and commentators there, many of whom I know, some of whom are actually close friends, having worked at the network for 5 years, but nearly all of whom got swept up in the ratings bubble that was feverish Russian conspiracy theories. I dare to say, some talent did drink more deeply of the Russian conspiracy waters than others. Rachel Maddow, you've got some explaining to do. Rachel Maddow, you've got some explaining to do. Crystal Ball, I am now your biggest fan. Okay, that was amazing, and I respect it. We got to call out the insanity, please. Ball noted that MSNBC ruined any potentially damaging information that came out of the hearing because, quote, for months, MSNBC built segments after segments, show after show on building anticipation for a big reveal when we would learn the true depths of the Trump's fealty and direct conspiracy with Putin, of which there was none. In some of the most fevered speculation, primetime shows actually invited Jonathan Chait on to lay out his wild theory that Trump had actually been a Russian asset since 1987. Ball continued. Chait starts out his analysis by acknowledging that Trump, a multi-decade-long Russian asset, is probably not true, but it might be. Characters like conspiracy gadfly Louise Mensch were invited on. Mensch, through her Twitter account, often reported things like the notion that Steve Bannon was getting the death penalty for espionage. They had this person on MSNBC. Seriously, this is not journalism. It is InfoWars conspiracy theory. You know what? You can like Rachel Maddow, fine. But I hope you can see through the fervent insanity. And I say the same thing about Alex Jones, but here's the difference. I was in Sweden a couple of years ago, eating at a Thai food restaurant. We were in Uppsala. No. We were in Södertälje, I think. Okay. We were going to interview, we were in Södertälje, I think. I heard Alex Jones ranting in the background as I'm eating Thai food, and I was confused. Why? In this strange restaurant in a small town in Sweden, am I hearing Alex Jones ranting? And then I heard it. Some young men started laughing. I heard 3 distinct laughs. Wait a minute. I get up and I turn around and I look. They were watching Alex Jones videos where he rips his shirt off and rants, "Oh, they're killing babies, oh, the Satanists, blah," and they were laughing about it. The important thing here, I bring this up, is that a lot of people found Jones to be like WWE. They knew a lot of what he was saying was crazy, but it's funny to watch. Do some people believe it? They do. But Rachel Maddow's viewers believe this stuff, and they're sitting in their rooms, terrified, going, oh, the Russians, they've come for us. Listen, it is not funny what Rachel Maddow did. What Alex Jones did, a lot of times, kind of was funny. Now, InfoWars as a whole is different, right? You can criticize them for their bias, for their politics. And what a lot of people don't seem to understand, and the left loves this, is you can take the craziest rants of Alex Jones and then try and paint all of InfoWars the exact same way. But here's the thing. Paul Joseph Watson is so dramatically different from what Alex Jones is, okay? They don't care. And I can say the same thing for MSNBC. MSNBC is dramatically different from what Rachel Maddow is. But, yeah, look, the point I'm trying to make, a lot of people watched Rachel Maddow, and she made them genuinely crazy. And that's dangerous. I think they might have. Okay, so that's the end of that. But I want to make a point. Crystal Ball, that was amazing. I'm so pleased to hear this analysis. There's just someone finally being honest. I appreciate it. But while I mentioned no one cares about Russia, there's one more important bit that needs to be brought up. From CNN. Trump is a dangerous media mastermind. That is not my opinion. That is CNN's political analyst, Julian Zelizer. Let me just say that again. CNN reporting Trump is a dangerous media mastermind. Do you get it? Everything Trump has ever done has been about playing up to public relations press. He knows how to make himself famous. He knows what people want to hear. He got elected president. He had a hit TV show for how many seasons? He's got his name on buildings around the world. He's cameoed in movies. It's really funny. Someone said, before Trump ran for president, people wanted to be Trump. He was a symbol of the American dream, even though he was he came from a wealthy family. We could argue all day and night about how, look, I think Trump knows how to run a business. You get a lot of criticism saying, oh, but Trump had all these bankruptcies. How many businesses did he run? Hundreds? He had a handful of bankruptcies? Don't care. Bankruptcy is a tactic used by business people to protect their assets. Trump took $1 million. Hey, he got an investment, and he turned it into $1 billion. Some people argue he could have done better just putting in the S&P 500. I don't care. The point is, the guy clearly knows what he's doing. You don't gotta, he's not the most articulate guy in the world, or maybe he is and he's doing it on purpose. Maybe he has steak with ketchup on purpose. Let me tell you about media manipulation. Trump went to some fancy restaurant and got this really fancy steak, dry-aged steak, well done, with ketchup. And the media attacked. And Trump, I'm going to say it, he knew it. He knew it. You know why? When the media came out and started slamming the president, saying, I can't believe you would eat this fancy, expensive steak with ketchup, well done. He was trying to get the media to advertise for him. Here's the simple truth. People in middle America who are poor and trying to find a better future are not having fancy, well-done filet mignon. They're having T-bones or ribeyes from the grocery store for $1, and it's a crappy piece of meat, so you cook it well done and slap ketchup on it. Trump wanted the media to make themselves the enemy. And what has Trump said over and over again? Enemy of the people, the fake news is enemy of the people. And then when they make fun of him for eating a well-done steak with ketchup, middle Americans go, I eat steak with ketchup well done. What do you mean? He wanted them to say, haha, Trump is a man of the people and we're the enemies, we're the bad guys. And he got them to do it. Trump knows what he's doing. I love that example. Trust me. When I was growing up on the south side of Chicago, you know what we had? We got steaks from Jewel Osco, if you guys are familiar with that Chicagoland area. They were not fancy steaks. They were cheap because we were not wealthy. We were poor-ish. And we'd cook them through. Now, of course, my dad would always cook them through. My dad liked to cook the steaks right. But for the most part, I, as a young person on the south side of Chicago, would slap ketchup on my steak. And my dad would say, you know, at a fancy restaurant, you'd offend the chef if you did that. Trump knows that people of humble means are not having fancy steaks at fancy restaurants. And he plays the media for fools. And then I guess what I was going to do like a bigger segment on all of this. I decided not to. In the end, what do we have? MSNBC went insane. They thought they were playing the media. They weren't. I got to fly. Trump, on the other hand, gets bad press, but it works in the end. Stick around. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you shortly.